All right, well, the first ordinary meeting of the ANC's National Executive Committee since Cyril Ramaphosa was elected party president last month kicks off in Irene in Pretoria today. This is largely so that the NEC can set the Lekgotla agenda, which is all about setting the tone for the year ahead in terms of work for the government. Let's get more now on this. Our presidential correspondent, Mzwandile Mbeje, joins us live from Irene. Mzwai, good afternoon to you. This certainly is an interesting one, and dominating headlines is whether or not the removal of President Zuma will be spoken about. I mean, that topic was avoided during their meetings last week. Are we any clearer on whether it will form part of this weekend's discussions? What have you been hearing?
Thank you, Natasha. Indeed, that's one of the topics that everyone is talking about. But what I can say to you, Natasha, is that at this stage, we don't have a concrete, concrete evidence that that issue is on the table. But of course, nothing stops any member of the NEC from raising it and I think it will probably be raised at some stage, and the NEC will have to deal with it, because it's the issue, Natasha, that everyone has been speaking about. They've been talking about the issues of the two centers of power, some going as far as retrieving some of the tapes where President Zuma was speaking about this issue, to say it's a very delicate matter. We remember that even last week, when President Ramaphosa was doing the interviews with various channels, he was asked this question to say, how is he going to, with his collective, manage this kind of situation? And then he reiterated that this is a very delicate matter and it must be handled properly. And one of the things that he said was that he doesn't want to see President Zuma being humiliated, perhaps, which does suggest that there is a talk towards that direction. We will see, because in the next hour or so, Natasha would be able to have a chat with the SG of the ANC, Ishmael. Will be able then to put this question, if this matter has been raised or this matter is on the table. So yes, this is a very important meeting. The NEC meets today and of course tomorrow. So this matter will then be perhaps deliberated thoroughly, so they have enough time before they go to the Lekgotla on Saturday and Sunday.
All right, so we'll wait to hear back on that. But this meeting will be more about appointing committees and giving its inputs ahead of the State of the National Address. And as we know, that and the opening of Parliament is all approaching. So no doubt some contributions will be given around that.
Indeed, you remember that this is actually the first meeting of the NEC, and I'm talking about the scheduled meeting. The meeting that happened in East London, for example, it was a special NEC because they needed to prepare for the January 8th statement. So this meeting is where they are meeting. They will be deliberating on a number of issues in terms of setting up the structures that will run this organization. Top of the agenda will be the election of the National Working Committee. Remember, the National Working Committee is the one that is responsible for the day-to-day running of the ANC. And of course, the subcommittees, whether it's the subcommittee on communications, economic transformation, and education and health. So this meeting will be seized with all those issues, because as the new leadership, they have to set the structures in place so that they'd be able to move forward. And of course, we understand that the issues of PECs from the Free State and KwaZulu-Natal would also be on the table. Leading to the conference in December in Nasrec, those PECs were not allowed to vote because the courts ruled that they were illegitimate. So this structure, the NEC, will have to take a final decision whether they are completely disbanded, and then task teams are put in those provinces, so that this renewal this party has been speaking about can perhaps start, Natasha.
All right, Mzwai, thanks so much. We'll leave it there. We've run out of time. And of course, we are also hearing that there will be some calls for drastic action to be taken against Eskom and other SOEs, and that needs to be top of the agenda for this NEC meeting. But we'll wait to hear from SG Ace Magashule.